Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 19 tells us this. It says, "The way of the lazy is a hedge of thorns." Now, when you think about this, you begin to understand, say, this is the way of the lazy. This is the way of the slothful. And the way of the lazy, they want to make things as easy as they possibly can. They don't want to go out of their way to do anything. They are lazy. They are slothful. They don't want to make anything difficult on themselves whatsoever. They don't want to break a sweat in their work. They don't want to put forth any extra effort. In fact, they don't want to put forth effort at all because they're lazy and they're slothful. But in the process of doing that, the Bible then tells us that their way, their path, their direction, the way in which their life is going, their way is a hedge of thorns. So rather than being the easy way, rather than being the easy path, rather than having a wide open path in front of them, instead it's a hedge of thorns. Now this hedge, what is a hedge? A hedge is a divider. A hedge is a blocker. Now you can get through a hedge, but it's going to be very difficult, and this is a hedge of thorns, and so if you try to get through this hedge of thorns, it's going to ensnare you, it's going to tangle you, it's going to rip your clothes, it's going to rip your flesh, and so you can push your way through that, but by the time you get to the other side, you're going to just be completely ripped apart. And so when we look at this is the way of the lazy. Now, the way of the lazy, boy, they want to live the easy life, but their lazy life is making what they want to be an easy life a difficult life. Rather than getting out there and working hard, rather than getting out there and working by the sweat of their brow, rather than putting forth their best effort, rather than going full-fledged and all the way into something and putting forth your greatest effort, they want to be lazy, and so in the midst of being lazy, they're putting hedges of thorns in front of them that ultimately is either going to stop them dead in their tracks, and probably will because they're lazy, so they're not going to put forth the effort to get to the other side of that hedge that's put in front of them, but it's a hedge of thorns, so it's going to rip them to shreds if they do try to get across. But instead, the way of the righteous, the Bible says, the continuation of this verse, the path of the righteous is a highway. Now, the path of the righteous isn't always an easy path. It's a path we have to work hard and we have to work by the sweat of our brow, and we're going to do what's right, even when what's right is not the easy thing to do. But we're always going to do what's right, and we're going to put forth our best effort. We're going to put forth our full participation because we are wanting to live a righteous life that honors God. And the Bible says that's going to be a highway. A wide open path with no obstacles and no hedges and nothing that's going to stand in the way. That's the way of the righteous. It's not always the easy path, but it's the right path. And God says it's a highway. So doing the right thing is not always easy, and doing the right thing is not for the lazy or the faint of heart, but it is for the righteous. And in the midst of that, God's going to open up a door for you wide, and He's going to put in front of you a wide open highway to where He'll clear the path. But you have to set in your heart, regardless of how much work and effort and tedious tasks that I have to pursue to live a righteous life, I'm going to follow that path because it's right. It honors God and gives Him glory. And in the midst of it, God's going to make that difficult path easy. He's going to remove those hedges of thorn and put before me a wide open highway. Which path would you prefer to pursue today?